first is what I call, the name of my channel, my handle. And why would you even want to strengthen yourself? Why would you even want to look at yourself? Why do people even look at themselves or within themselves? Why not continue to bother other people to find yourself in others? And there's so many other ways to think about that. But me, I can only look at myself because this is what I carry around every day. This is what I look into the mirror every day. I wake up, wash my face, brush my teeth, do the personal hygiene, put the clothes on this whole body, do the hair. It's mine, right? Take it with me to work, take it with me to do my errands. Why not? This is me. But and I say that because I was thinking about my own personality today after listening to something, and I was like, so I'm glad I learned and understand a little bit about my personality so I could just stop, drop, and roll. Stop, listen, pay attention, get quiet. What is my mind telling me? In addition to paying attention to those that I respect and have a great, regard for, those that I do take advice from, those that I listen to intently and can learn from. And with that, I was thinking something recently, as I talk about some of my videos of how to protect yourself in the workplace. And when I say workplace, I realize a lot of the same situations can apply in multiple relationships, like intimate relationships, family relationships, if you're handling business relationships, with your neighbors, with your family. All these things can relate to different people that you interact with on a daily basis. And so I was listening to something today, and I was like, all right, it's time to stop, drop, and roll. Time to think a little bit, because I'm glad I learned my personality where I know I am and can be quick, fast, and in a hurry. Man, even though a lot of times I know I talk boring and talk slow, because I'm trying, I don't know if I'm trying to process or if I'm trying to not get things across or not explain things in a clear manner, so I slow it down in the way I process it. And so, but on a regular, my personality is, that quick, fast, and in a hurry. I dominate on that part of my personality, and can elevate in workplace situations that deal with emergencies, or that's the positive part. But the negative parts on that I had to learn about, and whether it was in having children, dealing with the children, dealing with the relationship, being quick and fast and in a hurry, like, finish your conversation already, or I don't need to hear that long drawn out this and that. Boom, boom, bam, get to it. And then so learning about my personality on that level, okay, let me go back. The good things, like I said, in emergency situations in a workplace, I can excel. during PCS orders. It's time to go, time to pack up. I organize and get it done. I know the date. It's got to happen. Find the schools that we're going to, relocate to, and what jobs I'm going to get, and boom, 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 boom. I need to go. I need to, get done. And, the same with when it's time to go grocery shopping. When you're in a large family, it's boom, 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 boom. Get it done. Don't have no time for that slow stuff. I process it in my mind and get it done real quick. But and then I noticed recently I came up with a thought, how to protect yourself, in various situations, what I was just saying. But it made me think about, after the video I was listening to, to stop and think before running into and zoning in on order of protection. Protect yourself from certain people, from this, from that. And the message today, to me, I took the message for me as protect yourself in silence. Protect yourself from within. Like, you notice certain things about people, you notice certain situations. You can't tell people, get the hell away from me. I said, however many feet away from me, this and that. People are not going to listen to you. You're going to have some people that tamper with when you say, didn't I say don't talk to me? They're going to be like, I don't care what you said. I'm still trying to say this or that. Didn't I say don't come in my space? I don't care what you said. I got a cold and I want you to catch my flu and my Ebola and COVID and all that other stuff too. So it's like I don't know, maybe I'm giving poor examples, but I'm trying to process it and understand it myself as I, that's why I'm talking it out loud, is that to look at protecting yourself from within. Like, okay, say for example, looking at some of those TikTok videos, and they say, what's your race? What's your color? What's your background? What's your this? What's your that? But see, okay, yeah, I understand a lot of that is necessary as far as those, that are they're with certain groups to separate because of this and because of that. But I think that is necessary. You talk it out loud, you let them know this and that or whatever. But in the end, because people are learning, so it helps that way. But in the end, it's going to come from within you. If I'm sitting next to you, if I'm walking by you, if I'm having a conversation with you, if I'm dealing with you at the bank, if I'm dealing with you in a grocery store, to know within yourself who you're dealing with and know how far you're going to go with this or that person because of what they have done to you, because of the history, because you want and you realize you want to protect yourself. You don't have to, I think, come out and say, you dumb motherfucker, you got to be crazy. You think I'm gonna fall for that shit and, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know. I think you don't, it's deeper if you work on yourself with it, if I work on myself with it, and not say to the person or the people or whatever situation it may be, it doesn't hold any that strong of a weight to just constantly frustrate myself talking to people frustrate myself talking to people and trying to set my boundaries that way. Once you get more into yourself and you say, yes, this is how I'm going to protect myself. And then also what comes with that is protecting yourself by focusing on every single part of your body and not just the feeling of the body, moisturizing the body, taking care of the body from what you put in the body through your mouth, but this as well. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm saying. I think I thought of something else on these lines of what I was just talking about, is like that type of person has, with that personality, it's not the same person, but they have the same actions of someone else that has hurt me before, or the same actions of someone that I've seen them go off on other people before. So rather than you get into a confrontation with them or saying that out loud to them, or speaking your thoughts out loud to them, it's like you have that within your soul, and you know within yourself, and you know how to go forward accordingly. I don't know the difference between cinematic and just regular video. I'm about to look that up out of curiosity. But what I was just thinking.
I started it there.
All right, so what I was just thinking is that say, for example, most of us know within ourselves who we're going to deal with, how we're going to deal with them, and things of that nature. But I find it funny that, not funny, but I don't know the word to use when, say for example, you see someone on the street that's homeless or on drugs, or they come into the hospital mentally ill, could be drug induced, alcohol, and you automatically assume the worst. Like, oh my God, real scared, get away from me type deal. Without, I notice those that don't have a lot of experience dealing with people will be that way, and that's rightfully okay, because that's how you protect yourself, because you just don't know, you know. But sometimes things are not always what they seem. I don't know, let me think about that for a minute. Alright, so I just had a quick thought walking around here, and I'm like, you know, my hair is back in the day it would be happy I'm nappy type deal, but I just had a thought after walking around here, and I was like, it made me think of working in Manhattan. I used to commute from Queens to Manhattan. I worked a few Fortune 500 companies, and I would never go to work looking like this, right? And you can read and know the expressions on people's faces, their body language when they look at you. Not just because of, and skin color plays a lot because there's a lot of hate and evil in the world, but on many different sides and levels. But in Manhattan, if you don't, I always use, you look like them, walk like them, talk like them, act like them, think like them, and believe like them. But it was definitely not so much that, but absolutely on the level of look alike or look very similar, or and then they put it as presentable, even though, say for example, I can keep my hair like this, put on a button-down shirt, put a suit jacket on, you know, look real corporate. If I had my hair like this, I could take the band off, do something with the edges, and leave it frizzy and out like this. It would not come across as acceptable. And I just know that for a fact. You know, that's why so many people damage their hair with the gel, slicking it back. I used to do gel or Vaseline and water, slick it back when it's wet. And that was the younger days. And then when, you know, I started getting up there in age, there were cases like that where it's sad how blatant. They don't want you to call it racism. They don't want you to call it prejudice. But it's sad, you know, I've sat in on cases where I want to share this one case that I'm making up in my head. Nah, but seriously, where the woman's hair was very long. She had extensions in, and she was black. And they brought a case up against her and had witnesses, you know, doing the fact finding and all this and that. And when I went in there, I said, I mentioned a white lady that wears her hair long, not put up, a Hispanic lady that wears her hair long, and I named them by names, and it wasn't put up. And I said, but why is there a problem? I don't understand why there's a problem with this one. And do you know what they said to me? Well, I don't see you doing that, Emily. why do you not do it? And I'm like, first of all, I did say I know better. At that time, we were dealing with patients. And it's not comfortable for me. So I put it back in a ponytail, wrap it around, wrap it up, you know, drawing blood, starting IVs, putting people on monitors, doing chest compressions. That's just me. Other people are comfortable with wearing it down, but why? Let's go back to, why are you targeting this woman? If you have a policy, how come the policy doesn't go for these other people that have long hair, although their hair is natural and they're different from different backgrounds? Yeah, that was a investigation that really happened in this life. That looks like my car, but I know I didn't park there. Or did I? Where am I? I need to walk anyway. Let me go this way and come back if I have to. But yeah. So depending on what we learn, who we were raised under, brought under, friends with, environments with, and then add our own individual personality to that, that's how we're going to act towards others. And that's how we can fall under that code of protection of how we, that is my car, how we protect ourselves from others. Just thinking out loud. So I think I'm thinking about ending it like this, is that we can't tell people, like I was telling them, I mean, that's their rules and their regulations, but I did point out it's unfair to have an investigation with a black woman that has long extensions in her hair while she's doing nursing care, and then not approach someone that is from Iceland, or someone that is Hispanic, or someone that is Indian, or someone that is Filipino with long hair, and it gets, you know, onto the patient and stuff like that with the real long hair. I can't tell them stop doing stuff like that. You're wrong to have this investigation, which I did, but they're not going to change. This is how they believe. This is how, unless somebody pointed out, I'm sure, then policies will come about and change, and it needs to be for everyone. But in some situations that are very similar, if you can speak up, speak up. If you cannot speak up, if you do not want to speak up, however your comfort level is to speak up, know why you're speaking up. What outcome do you want from speaking up? And know that in some situations, you will not be able to change anything. You will not even be able to make an impact on anything. So within you, you would say something along the lines of, I know to stay away from these people because this is the way they think. And this is how they're going to target me because of, for example, the way I wear my hair, the way I whatever. So I need to speak to them, nip it in the bud, ask for the policy, and get somebody to answer with truthfulness. Does this policy go for everyone, or is it just just not for everyone, depending on who you are, something like that. And then looking at the ones that just because you may have insight on how to deal with people, whether they're, their mind is altered from drugs, from alcohol, from mental illness, and you know when to, because of your experience, when to step back and when to call for help, and other people don't. It doesn't mean to put them down because of that, because they just don't know, or that is their way of handling the situation. And they need not put you down because you are aware. And it's like, how did you know that? How did you feel that? What did you feel? Things of that nature. It can get deep. It can get deep, but it's all within self. It's all within you and what you feel and how you do what you do. Peace. I just thought about this to add, looking at, how people come off to people and how you're like, I ain't dealing with that one. So imagine going into a hospital, or even going to shop into the stores and stuff, and you're from a different location. Well, yeah. And so you go in there and you see nobody that look like you. And it's not up to nobody to try to figure out, even in healthcare, this is why they're that way, because of the background they come from. I mean, more than likely, it's like, who cares? It's not for me to figure that out, right? For the most part, most people would think. And so if you go in there and you cussing under your breath in a not threatening manner, but like responsive manner, and then somebody that notices it, like most people are like, not afraid, but it's like they're going to treat you according to how you come in. If you don't come in nice and be nice, and then somebody notices it that could be from a similar background as you, and you said something crazy, and they look at you and laugh and give a smirk, and then you see that smile on the person that's cursing up a storm in there, and they smile, they catch eye contact, and they actually smile at you like, I see you, I know who you are. If you were to deal with them, they would cut the shit. So and I don't know how to explain that. It's like, just it's not for everybody. I get it. I understand. You know, and then if you do get with a person, it's not for, and you explain certain things, why certain things happen, because the same thing can happen on the flip side for somebody with a whole different other type of personality or different actions, and they real nasty to you, and then you have that personality that comes up to you and say, well, they were nice to me. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, you know, when you explain that they were really rude, or somebody else even saw them really rude. So then when they come off to you really rude, and then the person that resonates with them come up in your face and say, well, they were nice to me. I would never do that, because even though I can handle, if I can handle certain situations, I'm not going to throw it up in somebody else's face. They were nice to me, you know, short of saying we were on code or something like that, because it's like quiet understanding between two people. That's another aspect of it as well, is what I just had a quick thought of.